Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, everyone. Sabhi boliye Hare Krishna. In a few moments, the curtains will open and we'll have the beautiful darshan of Shri Radha Gokulananda, Sitaram, Lakshman, Hanuman, Shri Gaunitai Ki Jai. The perfection of life is to see Krishna. In this world, there's so many different beautiful objects, but Krishna means all attractive. If we are attracted to Krishna, then we become perfected in our life. So we ask you to please join in with the artists. Everyone can please kindly stand up. Come a little bit closer. Remember, you have come to see Krishna, but Krishna also wants to see you as well. So if you can come closer, we will chant a little bit, Dun, and you can also please join in. Clap your hands. I will sing first, and then you can also join in afterwards. The more heartedly you sing, the more you make Krishna happy. Shri Radha Gokulananda ki jai, Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki jai, Shri Gaunitai ki jai. Om Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prasaya Buddhave, Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Itti Namine Namah. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunnavadi Pasyatya Deshatarine Na Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Jaya Shri Krishna. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Jaya. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Sabhi boliye, everyone join in please. Clap your hands. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Bolo, clap your hands, join in. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Govinda Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Govinda 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 Gopala 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 Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Bolo Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Bolo Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda ki Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki Shri Shri Gaunitai ki Srila Prabhupada ki Nitai Go Premanandi. So we're going to stop Aarti a little bit early. We have some wonderful guests over here. So Rasa Mandala Prabhu is going to give a little explanation of the beautiful shrine we have over here. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Is everyone here? Can you all see? By the way, if you want to take photographs, feel free to do that. There's no restrictions. Please take photographs. What you've just seen, this is the shrine, the main shrine here. What you've just seen is the Arati ceremony, Arati, and it's a welcoming ceremony to welcome the deities. I'd like to just, the Arati ceremony will be going on for a little while longer. We have about another 5 or 10 minutes. You'll notice that the priest is now offering some flowers. So certain auspicious items are offered to the deities during this ceremony. Earlier in the day, by the way, this ceremony goes on, I think, about 5 or 6 times a day. The first one is at 4:30 in the morning. It's called Mangala Arati, the auspicious Arati. Again, you're welcome to come. The residents, most of the residents will go to that. They'll be required to go to that to get up in the morning. And this ceremony is a way of worshipping God. So the deities here, you'll see two main sets of deities on the shrine. I'll introduce you, if I may. Right on the left with the flute, this is Lord Krishna. And Krishna means all attractive. God is all attractive. And you'll notice he's looking very well. He's very handsome. And he plays the flute, which is very enchanting. On his left, on our right, you'll see his consort, Radha, R-A-D-H-A, Radha. And she's the compassionate aspect of God. She's more compassionate than God himself. So if you want to, if we're in need of help and we want God's compassion, we pray to Radha. So you'll notice that in our tradition, God is not just male. God is male and female. In actual fact, and this will concern some of you, the male is always a little predominant. However, because Radha loves Krishna, she is actually more powerful than he is, because she controls him with her love. Behind every great man is an even greater woman. That may not be politically correct, I don't know. But I think we all appreciate that, actually. And as I said before, to some of us, love is the central theme of life. It's what keeps us going. It's that which sustains us, isn't it? When we love, we have energy in life, and we have a reason to get up in the morning. So, according to our tradition, that love should also be directed towards God. And when we direct it towards God, we automatically love everyone, because the same self, and this is the key point of our tradition, the same self is there within every living being. Yeah? We see that. We know ourselves in our own lives, in the journey from cradle to grave, and some of us are closer to the latter end than the earlier end now. Some of us actually realize I'm the same person. My mother still treats me like her son. She's 91, but I'm always her son. I'm the same person. There's a so that is the start of a spiritual existence. We're eternal, but there is also a supreme eternal, and there is a spiritual world. There are 2 countries. This country we live in now, but there's another country also. I think there's a hymn to that effect, isn't there? I vow to thee my country, all earthly things above. Yeah. So this is a representation of that spiritual world where everything is based on service. So that service is offered to Lord Krishna on the left and Radha on his left on the right. On this altar here, and I'll step back a little bit, right in the center we see Lord Ram. And he represents the monarchical aspect of God. God as king. Krishna lives in a village. Yeah? But the king himself, think of our own queen. She has Buckingham Palace, she's the queen, but she goes to Sandringham, and then she's with her family. And the family forget that she's the queen. They can't start thinking she's the queen every second of the day. So in that form, Radha and Krishna, they're worshipped, and their devotees forget that he's God. because it enhances that intimate relationship with him. But Lord Ram is monarchical. He's got a bow and arrow. He stresses dharma or morality. And as a king, his job is to maintain ethics and morality. On his left is his consort named Sita. And there's a whole story of Ram and Sita, a very important story called the Ramayana. It's one of the two Hindu epics. So Sita is on Ram's left. On his right is his brother called Lakshman, who's also got a bow and arrow. And if you'll notice, crouching down with the prayer posture is sometimes called the monkey god, or the warrior, monkey warrior deity, Hanuman. And he's a warrior, but he also serves God in that capacity. So there is a bit of a warrior ethic within the Hindu tradition, but there was very much an idea of chivalry and service. For example, civilians would never be targeted by the warriors. They weren't just soldiers, they were warriors. They would fight amongst themselves, that's fine. Chivalry, it was a sport for them. They were fearless, but no attacks on civilians, very relevant today. So there was a whole ethic about not attacking civilians. Soldiers can fight soldiers, that's fine. In fact, our whole tradition doesn't say we're against war. We would like there to be no war, but as it's almost inevitable, at least it should be run on chivalrous grounds. So that is Hanuman. And then in the center, right in that little shrine, you'll see two figures called Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda with their hands up. And Lord Chaitanya is the founder of our own tradition. He's also considered an incarnation of the Supreme, but he taught that the method for reaching God realization in this day and age is singing and dancing. That sounds pretty attractive, doesn't it? Yeah. And there's something about spiritual singing that is uplifting, isn't it? When we sing hymns and so on, it lifts our spirits. And if you engage the body as well, one's whole self becomes immersed in that attention. One's attention goes to God, to something higher than our everyday lives. So Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya in the center, and we follow in that tradition. Would you like to ask any questions? You can take photographs. Is it a nice shrine? Isn't it beautiful? Yeah. And that's due to the devotion of those who are actually doing the worship here. Yeah. The colors match. Yeah. I think so. I think they dress the deities here according to the day of the week. So Monday would be blue. Tuesday, which is Mars, would be red. Wednesday would be green. Yeah. There's a whole science of astrology in our tradition. Probably the root of all astrology. So in some temples you'll find in India, particularly South India, they worship the 9 planets. So there's a whole, And it's not considered superstitious, it's considered a different form of knowledge, of understanding the world, So, so they'd have different colors, and they have many different outfits. I don't know how many they have, but every day, and at night, after the final arti, which is 9:30, then the night outfit will be put on. Dress them. It takes about half an hour, I think, dressing and undressing. The morning dressing probably takes longer, the first one. Yeah, the evening to undress about half an hour. So the whole idea that God is personal. So there's that personal service, and we develop that mood of service to them, just in the way that we serve others in this world. But the fact is that, and some people say that we're projecting that onto God. No. This is the original. The reason we have love here, and we have clothes and we have form here, is because it exists in the original place, in the original country, in the absolute. Any other questions? Feel free to take photographs, by the way, if you want. Yes. Yeah. Well, Lord Chaitanya came 500 years ago, but it goes back. I mean, the problem is that within Hindu traditions generally, they have this idea of Sanatan Dharma, the eternal religion. For us, you see, there's never a final ending with time. When there is a destruction of the world, even this world, there is creation again. So time is eternal, perpetual. And therefore, there's an idea that you can't really map out history all the way back. Nor will it stop at any time. It stops, but as soon as one door closes, another door opens. There's one destruction. Huh? Isn't that good, actually? This linear time, I don't know where we got it from. Was it Augustine? It may have been, I think. Yeah, I think so. But in our tradition, time is cyclical. And of course, the environmental issues are raising this question now. We're beginning to understand time is cyclical. Thank God that it's March. Spring is here, you know. Yeah. And in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, there's Krishna, I am spring. So when we see spring, even though God has a form, when we see spring, we can recognize something of God in that spring. Yeah? Huh? Regrowth, yeah, birth. So there's never any finish. There's never any finish, actually. We go on. We're on a long journey, all of us. Some people are frightened by that, but I think actually, personally, it's positive. Yeah, we can go again. Yeah, we can start again, and we will have to. But we know that, don't we? We kind of intuitively we feel that. These days, it's not very popular. We have to say there's no self. There's no real self. When we die, we're finished. But according to our tradition, no. There's a continuity in this life, and because there's continuity, that endures at death as well. Yeah. So this, in a sense, is preparing us for a better birth. Either a better birth in this world, or if we're perfect, we go to a higher realm. Yeah. There are many planets also, by the way, in the Hindu cosmology. Many layers of existence and different dimensions, if you like. Thank you very much, I think. I'm not sure whether the deities are going to stay open longer, or do you... Huh? Okay, would you like to say something? Yeah. We're going to take some lunch now, you'll be pleased to know. And if you could just go out and please retrieve your shoes. And thank you very much. I'll see you later. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Pleasure, really. It's been offered to God, so we kind of, it's become sanctified. So yeah, we touch it to our head and heart, to sanctify our head and our heart, yeah. So that they become sacred. So it's like a blessing. It's a bit like Catholicism, where there's the transmutation, that which is material becomes spiritual. We've got the beads. Absolutely, yeah.
Parts of each other in them, so they are one. You don't put it away.
Well, God is one, and that's the important thing. Unless you,
I think it's the best thought. There's only one.
Unless you recognize that the difference, I mean, there is variety in our tradition in the God. It's a kind of inclusive monotheism. But the point is, unless we recognize that God is one, and beyond our conceptions of what God is or isn't, then, and even atheists, they somehow have this niggling feeling. I mean, if God didn't exist, why they got to deny his existence? It's a question some philosophers... They're kind of engaged. There's always this... I came here in 1973. I joined here in 73. I was 21 now. Then I was 70 now. So, long time ago. Yeah. So
I used to see you walk in, not you personally, of course, in Oxford Street, and they'd walk, so I know the tune.
Were you working there or something?
Yes, I
Were
was
you?
in London then, and I can remember, Hare Krishna. They used to come down Oxford Street.
And it was the in thing then, wasn't it? It was very in at the time. It was actually, yeah. My pleasure, actually. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, really.